We are group member from Senior 1 Science 3. Today, we are going to talk about world issue. The world is on fire even before the global pandemic. There are tons of challenges and world crises that we are currently facing. So, do you think the world is going to be a better place next year or the next decade? And can we actually end the hunger and government corruption such as Afghanistan or the global climate change in the next 50 years? So, we are here today to talk and discuss some of the global issues that we are currently facing. First, climate change. The global temperatures are rising. This would cause more severe weather, crisis of food and resources, and a spread of diseases. The reduction of greenhouse emissions and the spreading of education on the importance of going green can help to make a big difference. Lobbying governments and discussing policies to reduce the carbon emissions and encouraging reforestation is an effective way of making progress with climate change. The next, pollution. Pollution is one of the most difficult global issues to combat. These terms refers to ocean litters, pesticides and fertilizers, air, light and noise pollution. Clean water is an essential for humans and animals, but more than 1 billion of people don't have access to clean water due to the pollution from toxic substances, sewage or industrial waste. It is important that people all over the world begin working to minimize the various types of pollution in order to better the health of the planet and all those living on it. The third is government corruption. Corruption is a major cause of poverty considering how it affects the poor the most. Eroding political and economic development, democracy, and more, corruption can cause an increase in violence and physical traits without as much as regulation in the government. Malnourishment and hunger. Currently, there are 795 million people who do not have enough to eat. Long-term success to ending the world hunger starts with ending poverty. We're fighting poverty through proper training for employment, education, and the teaching of cooking and gardening skills. People who are suffering will be more likely to get jobs, earn enough money to buy food, and even learn how to make their own food to save money.
Hi, I'm Lai Chongqing. The fifth world issue is terrorism. Terrorism is an issue throughout the world that causes fear and insecurity, violence, and death. Across the globe, terrorists attack innocent people often without warning. This makes civilians feel defenseless in their everyday lives. Making national security a higher priority is key in combating terrorism, as well as promoting justice in wrongdoings to illustrate the enforcement of the law and the serious punishment for terror crimes. Next, lack of education. 72 million children throughout the globe that are of the age to be in primary education are not enrolled in school. This is all attributed to inequality and marginalization as well as poverty. Fortunately, there are There are many organizations that work directly with the issue of education in providing the proper tools and resources to aid schools. Violence. Violence can be found in the social, cultural, and economic aspects of the world. Whether it is conflict that has broken out in a city, hatred targeted at certain group of people or sexual harassment occurring on the street, violence is a preventable problem that has been an issue for longer than necessary. With continued work on behalf of the government of all nations, as well as the individual citizens, the issue can be addressed and reduced. Unemployment. Without the necessary education and skills for employment, many people, particularly 15 to 24 years old, struggle to find jobs and create a proper living for themselves and their families. This leads to a lack of necessary resources, such as enough food, clothing, transportation, and proper living conditions. Fortunately, there are organizations throughout the world teaching people in need the skill for jobs and interviewing, helping to lift people from the vicious cycle of poverty.
Hi, my name is Tong Shuxian. The next issue is substance abuse. 185 million people over the age of 15 were consuming drugs globally. It is a persistent issue throughout the world. Petitions and projects are in progress to end the global issue of substance abuse. The other issue is child marriage and gender discrimination. COVID-19 has created a crisis for girls around the world. As vulnerable families lost their incomes, girls are being sold into child marriage just to make ends meet. The global pandemic has also created an education disaster for vulnerable girls. COVID-19 lockdowns mean to keep children and families safe from the pandemic have seen teen pregnancies rates spike. Child marriage and teen pregnancies exacerbated the cycle of poverty for girls growing up in the toughest place to be a child. Next, the issue is child labor and trafficking. The number of children experiencing physical, emotional, and sexual violence, both now and in the months and years to come, is set to rise. As COVID-19 puts strain on family incomes, children are being forced to beg in the streets or sent to work instead of going to school just to help their family get by. In Asia alone, as many as 8 million children are being forced into begging and child labor. The last issue is refugees. Violence and conflicts are the main reasons people flee. Families risk everything, undertaking long and dangerous journeys in the hope of finding safety and stability. By far, the most affected group are children who are often separated from their parents, lost access to education and health care, and become victims of early marriage and child labor. Now, let's get into conclusion. World issues require global solutions. When world leaders in the public and private sectors act more openly, they not only seize huge economic opportunities but can also help society at large. We are Senior 1 Science 3 group members. I am Tong Shuxian, seat number 25.
I am Lim Eng Mi, seat number 30.
I'm Lai Chun Ting, seat number 37.
Thank you for watching.